Welcome to the throne room of the Great Get Gone. This is David Petrie. I am David Petrie. I wanted to talk about being an independent artist and one aspect of it being inventory and optimism, optimistic inventory. Some things I've learned over time, a little bit, but it's not really that, but more just what it looks like, physical and some of the detritus of being an independent artist. I'm curious what other people have done, or what they've exposed themselves to. When you're an independent artist, so I started as a writer, and when you're a writer and you're independent, it's called vanity, or it was when I was doing it. It's probably not called that now because independent publishing is respectable now. It wasn't when I was doing it. It was called a vanity press, and you were vain for trying to publish your own things. Only good authors were really published by publishing houses, and everyone else was just, an egotist. And there was a lot of different ways that took place, a lot of different methods by which companies worked that out. So, you could say you got a writing contract or somebody published you, but it turned out you paid for it in a lot of ways. And so I have 3 examples of that in my life. And then I want to talk about how we moved into the music thing. But just real quickly on the books, I'll start over on this side. I started in journalism when I was a kid. 3rd grade, I got put on the school newspaper, and I was in journalism through, certainly through my 20s. And I did some journalism in my 30s and 40s. Even some online stuff. But I published this book in 2006 in conjunction with the Santa Barbara Cemetery. It's hardbound, beautiful book designed by Eric Larson here in Santa Barbara. A lot of my own photography in it. And this book took me 10 years to write. I had to learn history. I had to learn a lot of things. And you'd think, the cemetery would publish this, and they did. They paid for it. But I sort of also paid more than they paid for it somehow. Long story, a lot of ins and outs, and I definitely made out okay on that because they paid for me to do the research. But the book was a vanity book. It ended up being a vanity book. Next book I worked on was called The Puritan Ice Companies. I did this with my friend John Fritchie. This one we did on spec. We had no idea if we'd ever get it published, and we knew from my experience with this that we might not. There was a place in town we thought would publish it. They didn't. And History Press was interested. The disadvantage of History Press is all black and white photos. But they did publish it, and it's really nicely done. They didn't give us any money, but they did make it possible for us to buy copies at cost, and so we were able to make some money that way. I don't know, we sold 10 or 15 books. All right, so then we'll get to my novel in a second. I wrote 4 novels, of which 1 were published. And so the inventory on these, as you can see, this is my full inventory. Now, the cemetery has some books still. And those still sell. The cemetery books still sell, so that's great. These still sell. The History Press books still sell. I still see them on the racks in various places. I don't know about my novel. I don't think my novel's still selling, but it's on Amazon. So this was 2006, 2012, and then I got into music, 2017, and I started recording. 2019, we started releasing some material. So I went into a studio in Goleta, Zach Madden's studio, and Dean Dinning was the guest producer there. He still is in on a lot of projects. And Dean Dinning of Toad the Wet Sprocket. And so the 3 of us and a few other people got together, got this little EP out. Cinderella's Shoe. It's essentially a country record. It's got a country ballad, a country rock song, and a country duet. And then it's also got a rock song and a blues song on it. Nice little 5-song EP. Big band sound. Somebody that heard this told me it was sounded like the bastard child of Willie Nelson and Little Feat.
stayed home when all my friends began to roam. You could say I'm someone in this town. I'm married well, they rang the wedding bells, and I took off Mary's wedding gown. You went away after the senior high school play, some boy who'd hardly even been around. You're a will of the West, you gave us all the slip, even your mama.
So it's big band sound, big party sound, but serious, you know, like the ballad. So this was a fun project. This is a Targo artwork. And then that same year, a couple months later, we came up with my novel, If They Say I Never Loved You. So this was my story, coming of age story about Los Angeles in the late 60s. My family moved there in 1967. I went to LeConte Junior High and Los Feliz Elementary, and this is a little bit about the LeConte Junior High era stuff that I saw, experienced. And at the same time, we were working with Lois Mahalia. So Lois sings backing vocals on all my records. Just so transformative for my music. I just love having her on those songs. Just makes all the difference. So we worked on a record with her, 5-song EP for her, Build Me a Window.
Fingers weave together at the start. Build a little fire in your soul. I'll come warm myself when I'm cold. Yeah, bring me peace in a package with strength.
And that came out also in 2019. Now, I should have been promoting all of these records in 2019. I didn't promote and the book. I did have some stuff lined up towards the end of 2019, going into 2020. But beginning in 2019, my mom had a stroke and then broke her wrist and then went into hospice. And we concentrated that year on her. And so it was a great year for family, great year for her. She got to die at home. We were able to get a team of people that was working with her. We were just really privileged. We had a lot of advantages for that time. So we were not able to promote these products the way we wanted to. Didn't have the time or focus or energy to do that. But we still kept the production line running. We produced a lot of material. And at that point, Tom Flowers began working with us on some songs with Lois and also on some songs with me. And I asked him if he would do my next record. And so he picked up my next record. Tom Flowers, I wanted to work with Tom Flowers because he is Steve Perry's producer. #1 record had just come out, Traces, Steve Perry's album. And Tom Flowers, got a sticker on it. Produced this record for me. This is a full LP, 12-song LP. It's My Little Hometown. Artwork by Patricia Chidlaw, used by permission from her, local artist here in Santa Barbara area. Also her art. Had a sticker that went on that. I'll talk about that in a sec. This album was Tom conceived it more as a combo album, and so Dan Kalischer, pedal steel guitarist out of LA, was kind of the central player on it. But we also had Alistair Green on there on a song or two. We had David West on there, Kenny Sultan's on there, and Tom Flowers is on there on guitars also. But it's a very guitar-driven album. Great band sound, some great songs, and some songs that I wrote past my voice. I wrote them beyond what my voice could do at the time, and we recorded them and released them because what do you do? we're recording in a COVID state, so everything was remote. Tom worked solo. I mostly on the phone with him. I would come in and do vocals, but we'd do COVID testing beforehand. It's just the two of us. I never met Dan Kellisher personally. I didn't meet most of the people on this record personally. It was all remote. So it all got done remotely and then pulled together remotely. And then because I was so optimistic about it, I got 4,000 CDs. It was also at a time when this was, 2021. Prices have come down now for lower lots, because people have to buy lower lots. People don't want that many CDs. But at the time, 4,000 CDs was a lot cheaper per CD than buying 1,000, which was what I was thinking about. I bought 1,000 for Cinderella Shoe. I still have over 2/3 of that. I mean, basically that's over 2/3. And this we're remastering it and re-releasing it in 2024. We hope. When we do, this becomes a vanity project, landfill project that I'm not looking forward to. I have another idea about it, which I'll talk about at some other time. Maybe we'll see each other again about that. But that was my little hometown. We couldn't put a band together, so this was the anticipation. We'd have a band, we'd be touring, we'd burn through the CDs really fast and buy some more. That didn't happen.
Sky. Your smile's a mystery, makes me cry. Your hair's the thread, the fabric of my dreams. But a man is hardly ever man that is seen. Mama's diamond rings, my daddy.
During that process, though, I did talk to Mike Day at KTNK about radio. So everyone's telling me, as an independent artist now in music, that what I need to do is release singles. Single. I don't like that. I don't listen to music that way. I don't listen to singles. I listen to LPs. I listen to albums. I grew up listening to albums. And so, I like the larger scope of things. I like to understand some of the relationships amongst things. I like to read about who's on the albums and stuff like that. So I didn't really like that, but I didn't have another model to point to, other than just that I liked the old one. Well, I went and met with Mike Day at KTNK up in Lompoc. We have a little sticker that went on this record, which was really cool. Wanted reward. Mike Day of KTNK says, give the great Get Gone a play. And provides a couple of his suggestions. So we did that sticker. That was really cool. We also did a variation of this when we sent out Rescue Me, our next record. So we didn't do radio with this. I tried to get a radio list together. It's really hard to just do it on your own because most radio stations are conglomerates now. Like iHeartRadio owns 800 stations or 8,000 stations. I don't know. Large number of stations. There's only 150 stations that you can talk to right now, that you can send stuff to for a given genre. And so you have to go to somebody who knows who those people are and who talks to them, who has a daily or weekly, who has a professional relationship with them. And we did that on Rescue Me. Now, Rescue Me, different animal. So what happened from Cinderella Shoe, we had a bunch of music done. Tom picked some up and we did more stuff for My Little Hometown. And then we come out of My Little Hometown 2021, and there's still in COVID, still can't put a band together. Hard to do a new record, but we had stuff on the cutting room floor, so to speak. So looking through our files, we've had 9 songs that were very close to being finished. 3 of them were on My Little Hometown, but in different versions. So we put those 3 on here in their original versions, which are fiddle versions. So this record has 4 fiddle songs and then a big sax song. This record, by the way, is my this would be the Love Song to Bruce Springsteen record with 2 songs on it. One, my song, End of the Road, which is I wrote that literally as a post-Springsteen era fan. Not that I'm a post fan. I'm a fan, but that I grew up on Springsteen, and this is my response to growing up on Springsteen, End of the Road. We also do a cover of Brilliant Disguise on here as a duet with Lois Mahalia. She does just an incredible orchestrated choir at the end of that. Dean Dinning does a gorgeous bass solo on that song. Anyway, we put this record out. I took this to Angus Cook, all these songs to Angus Cook, who was our final mix engineer at another studio in Goleta. So Goodland Studio with Zach, and then over to High Volt with Tom Flowers, and then to Angus's studio, Orange Whip, and had him do the final mixes on these. We had to add sax on one of them, or redo the sax on one of them, do new drums and do new bass on one of them, but and some new vocals. But very tamped down, COVID testing, remote, all that stuff. And this came out August of 2022, and we went with Twin Vision radio promo, and we did a nice package. So based on what I talked to Mike about, a couple things. When I talked to Mike, we sat down and went through his mail one day, and it was a lot of singles, and I could see why they were not attracted to him. He said, I've got a lot of programs. I don't know from this single. The single can go to one guy, one program that I've got. A record with a bunch of songs on it. I can send this to 2 or 3 people. They can use different songs. I get a sense of what the artist is doing. With a single, even, we've heard one-hit wonders. You listen to that song on a record, and you listen to the next 8, 10 songs, and you go like, what happened? Well, how did they only get one song out of this incredible band that's any good? So with a single, only a single, they don't know, what your record is. And so he liked, having the full record, and I like having the full record too. So the radio model is one single, promote it for a month, and then give them the record. So I like that, and I also like the packaging. So I sent out nice looking packages. So we did our own mailer last time. I won't do that this time because this was expensive, and I don't think it made that much difference. We sent a postcard. I like sending a postcard for multiple reasons. One, it's a nice little graphic. 2, lets them see the other releases that we have, this one included. A little more artwork, a little quote, a little song quote, a little QR code to get, if they want, to get to the website quickly. And then I get to write a note, thank you for listening, kind of thing, and handwritten note to them. Send them a sticker, something to take home to the kids, or stick on their notebook or whatever, just so there's some, level of association with it. We sent them another sticker too, which is just the band logo with a QR code. And we only bought 300 of these CDs, so our bling pile, like for My Little Hometown, we didn't do T-shirts or anything. We were going to wait on those, and I'm glad we did. For Rescue Me, that's where I spent my money. I spent it on bling. So we got sweatshirts, we got T-shirts, we got coffee cups. I love the coffee cups. Just love that little Rescue Me logo. But yeah, we spent on that, and those are not going to go anywhere. We don't do merch sales really. I don't like doing them. I don't like putting stuff in the mail. It's a lot of work, and it's so expensive to mail stuff now. What I'm going to do soon is I'm going to change my website. Right now my website has merch from Cinderella's Shoe and Rescue Me on it. I got to add the Westerly's merch, but it's going to become expensive because of the expense of, It's going to become expensive for two reasons. One, because it's expensive for me to do it. I'm doing this alone. This is 100% me alone with a lot of help, that I pay for, etc. But it's just me, it's just me. So, so what I'll do is it'll cost a lot more to buy anything from the website. So that if I have to do the work, I can do it. I'm happy to do it. But also there's some component of the price that's supporting the band, because there's no support for the band so far. We have no gigs, we have no sales, the money comes in from streaming has, over the last 5 years, has amounted to less than $100. So thus far in my music career, writing's different, in my music career, I have made less than $100 so far. So the streaming money, I don't get it unless it reaches some amount, and then they'll send a check. I haven't reached that amount, so I've literally sold a couple CDs and a T-shirt. I think I'm up to $45 income as a musician. It's really bad, but hope springs eternal. So now we've got. So Rescue Me came out, we got five of those 9 songs were on charts, on Kansas City, California, like regional charts. They were on alt country charts, alt indie charts, California album chart, and they stayed there for 9 months. It was great. Got them on playlists. We got a lot of feedback. It did great.
She takes your measure at a glance, looks past your shoulder when you dance. She never takes a chance, she's miscalculation. She wears her heart on her sleeve, she's always dressed to please. She's quick to bend the knee, she's misunderstanding. With a soft, sweet smile.
So now we're going to do Westerlies. Summer by the Sea is out. I'll talk about my friend Targo, the artist. This is the original art for Summer by the Sea. I don't know how to talk about it. I like it. And then Westerlies coming out August 3rd. This is the CD. We have obviously physical CDs of the music exists, but you can't touch it till August 3rd. And for Summer by the Sea, we just have CDs, t-shirts, cups, and stickers, and that's about it. We're not going to put the packaging together. We'll put a sticker on the outside of the packaging for them so they can see it. And we'll do mailing to radio. And this time we'll also, obviously, I'm doing social media, which I'd never done before. It took me a long time to, get there in my head.
Oh, give me summer by the sea.
By the sea.
Kick off your shoes and dress with me.
By the sea.
Let's jump off from high on the old jetty. Oh, give me summer by the sea. Oh, give me summer by the sea. Let the palm trees wave over me. I'm gonna lie on my back in the hot blue sand, baby. Give me summer by the sea. I'm gonna
So I'm curious if you're an independent artist, a writer, and or a musician, and or other kinds of art, what your inventory life is like. What you've done, what your most embarrassing, monolithic, stupid purchase is. All right. Have a great day.